Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. Alright, so I just made a video on Utah Jazz and Laker trade rumors, and then I got into a long spiel as I always do these days, and then came back around to saying something along the lines of the Lakers should do this deal, but make sure you're sending Mike Conley elsewhere, because I don't want that contract. I didn't think he would be a good fit for our team based on the fact that he's a shorter stature player and older guy. I think we needed somebody else. Well, it looks like the Lakers are about to make a move that does that very thing. Now, I don't know if the other stuff that we were considering in the trade rumor is actually going to come our way because of what it is that we're considering doing or what is being discussed right now. Shams did not mention anything other than the fact that the Lakers would be involved in a 3-team deal discussion. Preliminary, nothing's being done yet. But the discussion is between the Timberwolves, the Lakers, and the Jazz, as to which Conley would be going to the Timberwolves. Westbrook would be headed to the Jazz. I believe that's how that went. I think that's how that went. Westbrook would be going to the Jazz, and then we would be getting D'Angelo Russell back. D'Lo is going to be coming back to the Lakers if this deal gets done. And it sounds, the way the Shams is talking, they're discussing it. They're trying to make it happen. Am I on board with this? Yeah, man, I am. I definitely am. I think I have tempered expectations about what D'Angelo Russell's can be for the Lakers as it pertains to. I don't think he's like the greatest superstar talent or what have you, but I do know what type of weapon he is shooting the ball. I do know how clutch he can be down the stretch of basketball games, and I know what type of weapon he can be catching the ball in a LeBron James-led offense. Yes, I know exactly what type of weapon he can be in that situation and how many games he can help us win, more so than a guy like Mike Conley, who's just a little bit smaller. Now, the problem is D'Angelo Russell's no better a defender. In fact, Mike might actually be a better defender than D'Angelo. But D'Angelo's bigger. And D'Angelo's younger. And he fits the timeline a bit better for what you want to be after LeBron James leaves. And he's a guy we drafted, so it just makes sense to bring ice back in. How do you go? Ice water back in his veins? They call it ice flowing through his veins. We got to bring that back and remind ourselves of how clutch he can be. Now, I know he had some character issues. We talked about that in the past, but he was a kid. I mean, how old was he when he did that? 19? I'd like to think that he's grown up a lot since then. He's made an all-star team since then. He's had some good times in Golden State since then, playing with Steph Curry and those guys. So this is a vet coming around. I'd say he's entering a veteran stage. This is in his prime. It's a good time to have D'Lo, obviously. Now, his contract, I don't know, but it can't be no worse than Mike Conley at 2 years, $22 million, or Russell Westbrook at 47. But I'll tell you this. D'Lo is a different type of player than Westbrook for sure. We're definitely losing some strength, so we're going to need to find that strength. But if we're bringing back shooting, I think we'll find a way to make the strength that's missing from Westbrook and the facilitating that's missing from Westbrook makes sense, especially if we're keeping people like Schroeder. It should be all right. So I do believe it's a marginal upgrade. I don't know this is as big of an upgrade as people think, because I know that Westbrook does more for this team than people really know, especially on the defensive end when we try to go up against bigger players and he defends those guys. That's not something D'Lo's going to be able to do, and you don't have anybody coming back that I know of that's going to be doing that specific thing. So these are things you got to consider. You know, we want to rush and get Westbrook out of here, and we do have some issues with his weaknesses, but his strengths are extreme. His strengths are extreme, and I know that. We're going to be happy to see him land in a position to be a starter again. Hopefully, Utah can be that for him. Maybe it's Minnesota he lands in, which I think is also pretty solid. If for some reason I'm mistaken in regards to where he's supposed to land. I know that pick equity would be sent out in this deal. I believe that one pick would still be involved in this deal. So, yeah, no framework was actually confirmed in any way. Like I said, discussions are taking place. But when Shams says something is popping, it's popping. So, yeah, y'all, D'Lo might be on his way back to L.A. Hopefully other stuff as well in this trade, man. And I like the idea of bringing D'Lo to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I think we're going to be solid. It depends on how Darvin wants to do the rotations. Obviously, you would think D'Angelo Russell would be a starter, but he might want to move D'Angelo to the 2, and maybe probably still want to run Patrick Beverley, knowing him. So I don't know. Hopefully, Patrick Beverley can be moving in one of these deals, man. He really is expiring. It doesn't make any sense at his age for us to keep him, especially if, given the fact that we find that we have so many deficient lineups with him in it. It just makes all the sense in the world to try to move his contract. and get some pieces that fit more of what we're doing. I mean, I know people say they don't want to move him, but if you really understand what you're looking at down there, you do have to get rid of small ball and get some size. I mean, it's what we talk about and what we know. So at this point, I think D'Lo kind of helps with that, being the fact that he's a taller guard. I think he's about 6'5". I want to say D'Lo's 6'5", but I'm not sure. But he's a taller dude than he can be a player that you feel comfortable about in starting and not being undersized. So we like that. And ice in his veins, man. Hopefully we can get this done, man. I am actually on board with bringing D'Lo back. I know it's going to be some iffy Laker fans, but once he hits one of those clutch buckets, which we know is coming, we'll remember why we should have never actually let this player go. His talent level wasn't that of somebody you should just be, all right. Nah, y'all. I do understand that he had some leg injuries in the past, some things that we had some concerns when he was first drafted about his leg. I don't know where he is with his health right now, but I'd imagine he's been healthy all season long. And, he hasn't had any issues that I know of. So, yeah, man, I'm on board. I'm excited about that. I like him for us more so than Mike Conley. I do. And if we're getting rid of Russell Westbrook, bringing back D'Angelo Russell, I think we'll feel good about the timeline a bit better. You might be bringing back another headache in the locker room. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like we haven't already had the issue with D'Angelo. He was here in L.A. It happened. But I don't suspect that we would have the same type of issues as we have with Russell Westbrook. I don't suspect at all. So we would be able to help ourselves to a younger basketball player, probably on multiple years, but somebody you would want on multiple years anyway if you're the Lakers. So, yeah, bring us back our guys, man. I know the Lakers love bringing back players that they've already had. We probably should have never let go of D'Angelo Russell in the first place. He's developed a lot since he's left, and he was very good when he left us, pretty much, for what it is we wanted him to be, which was a long shooter, a catch-and-shoot guy, someone who can make ridiculous passes as well. That's another thing. I haven't forgotten just how significantly gifted D'Angelo Russell can be, passing the ball in the short windows and things of that nature. That talent didn't go anywhere. And I think that the optimism that he can display some really, marginal upside from here is still there. I don't necessarily think we've seen the last of Brooklyn D'Angelo Russell. And if you want to go back and look at those highlights when he was in Brooklyn, that was an all-star and he was elite. If he gets in that type of shape again and gets in that type of system again, why can't he be that? Why not? If anything, he should be better because he's been in the league longer. So I think I like him as it pertains to him potentially being somebody we can elevate in stature, being a Laker, especially if he can win a championship with us. So I don't think him alone can get that done, but I do like the ability for us to be a much better shooting team and a much better clutch basketball squad with him on the floor while LeBron James and Anthony Davis get to attack. You go from having defensive shooting issues to be able to spread the floor immediately in some very, very special ways. So I like it, man. This is an all-star we're picking up if we can do this, and we'd have a Hall of Famer going out. So we respect that too. But it hasn't been great with Russell Westbrook, man. It has not. And as I said, I think he showed competitiveness last night. I think he was pretty much the only person down there that was really trying to win. So I'll remember him that way. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Hopefully this deal can get done. I don't want us to wait to the last minute if we're doing this. I like it. So depending on the rest of the framework, because obviously if they do something else in the deal that looks bad, we will adjust our opinion. But right now, for what it looks like, if we're rerouting Mike Conley to the Timberwolves and bringing Westbrook to the Jazz and D'Angelo Russell to us, I think that sounds pretty good. And I think other stuff will be going on there as well. So, yeah, I think that's what it is. Russell may be a wolf, though, so we'll amend that if we come back as the deal gets finalized, if for some reason some things change to what it is I'm saying here. But the bottom line is, regardless of where Russell's going, he would be out, and we would be getting D'Lo. So that's what I got to say. BDL44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.